How's it going, everyone? It's Derek Lamoureux, and I'm joined by cinematographer and director of photography, Danny Lau.
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. It's been a while since you and I did a video-based thing together.
Yeah. You were on my podcast, and now it's my turn to be on yours. It's cool. So my name is Danny. I'm a cinematographer based out of Toronto, Canada. And I've been working really closely with Anthony Voltsinas, who runs Chameleon. And today we're talking about some of the spec ads that he self-funded for that I DP'd, break down some of that. We did a series of spec ads in 2023, and we really honed down on a lot of them and put a lot of work and effort into them. And yeah, we're here to talk about them and answer any questions that anyone might have, and how we got it to, how it came to life.
So when you're looking at a spec ad like this, at what point were you involved in creating the visuals for this project?
So typically with Anthony, everyone works differently, but with Anthony, he usually has the locations already set. And so he would send me photos randomly of these locations. It could be a year prior, it could be a week prior to when we actually get the ideation going. And because we're both visual people, that's how we communicate with each other. And immediately, like in my head, I'm already thinking about how can I make this location fit the story that he's going to come up with. So a lot of times it happens almost kind of naturally through time. And then when the actual, when I get the call to say, hey, we're going to actually do this, like we're going to make this happen, like I'm already kind of one step ahead and kind of already thinking about, okay, like this is what the location brings. How can I bring this visually to life? How would I want to shoot this location, and what kind of story do I have? So typically with Chameleon, Anthony, and I, like I'm usually involved right off the bat.
Now, for this project, and so for both Trident and TurboTax, you opted to choose the Alexa Mini.
Yeah.
Just walk me through your camera choice, lens choice, and why you thought they would fit this project over, your own personal gear or a different camera.
Yeah. So the Alexa Mini is a classic camera. Like it's reliable. It's industry proven. Also, the Mini is also a very flexible camera because it's very modular. Mm-hmm. It's small, you can break it down, you can make big packages with it. You can do a lot of different things with the Mini. And I think there's some camera systems that you see on the monitor and you're like, I have to overexpose it by half a stop or a stop because I know it has these deficiencies in post. Or it has a codec that is very difficult to work with in post. Where, if you're gonna hand it off to a colorist, maybe it doesn't matter as much, but when you have to deal with it yourself, you want the most efficient workflow. You know what you're gonna get, and ARRI consistently performs. And so we knew we wanted to go with something that is modular. We have a small team, so we can't go with anything that's too heavy. The Atlas Anamorphic Orients, those things are just classic. Like I think they're great for the value and the budget that you get.
Now, why Anamorphic though?
For these specific projects, it's because the space is very small. And typically the way I see it is, if I want to logistically look at the way I'm going to plan out how I'm going to light this space, I want to be able to use the ceiling as an option for me to rig lights.
Right.
And for me to put things above there. And Anamorphics just literally just give me that space for me to work vertically. The space is so small. In TurboTax, same thing. His office is just like a little box. Right. And so like for me to maximize my game plan, maximize my ability to light, I want to give myself that vertical freedom. There's not a lot of people, so we had to keep it as simple and as bare bones as possible.
So the Mini kind of fit the workflow even with a smaller camera team?
Yeah, exactly. The Mini has that ability where you want to be able to move fast. And in specs, like a lot of times, you want to get as much as you can out of your dollar.
Do you think it's important that people invest money into a spec ad when it comes to gear?
Yeah, I think spec ads is really the ultimate way to prove like what you can do. That's ultimately the goal of a spec ad. And I think spec ads gives you that opportunity for you to actually flex what you are made of and kind of create your own footprint in the industry. So I think it's very important to do spec ads.
I guess it's fair to say that spec shoot also gives you the opportunity to play with new gear before you get on a real job.
Absolutely. Like, you learn about the camera system. A lot of times spec ads, you don't have the budget to prep and like do camera tests and all that kind of stuff. So you learn on the spot some of the advantages and disadvantages of the systems that you're using. And it also teaches you about the lenses and like are these lenses hard to work with? Are these lenses right for certain projects? Like, what are the deficiencies of the lenses that perhaps like you won't be able to pull this on a corporate job, for example? Like, you learn that.
You kind of get your own test day, but with like a real shoot.
Real shoot, exactly.
Maybe you have a spec shoot that you're like, hey, I want to try this thing on. That might be where you should put your money into. It could be lighting, it could be, you know, art, it could be locations, whatever. It's just like, if you're not going to invest money in a spec shoot, I think you're missing out on the purpose.
The point of it. I think like in a spec shoot, you should get something out of it. So you should be trying something new. You should be taking a risk on something that perhaps you wouldn't even dare do on a job. You should rent Anamorphics if you've never worked with Anamorphics to see if you like the workflow, if you like the look. Test camera bodies and maybe test even like equipment, like in terms of dollies, or perhaps you want to do a vehicular kind of shot. Like,
yeah, if you've never done
you've
car
never
rigging
done
before.
an alien arm before, perhaps that's your time to try it, right? I think if you don't invest in it, it's really, you are missing the point.
Yeah, I think for every spec shoot I've ever done, I mean, usually they end up being the best ones.
Yeah, they're usually like your best work.
Yeah.
They're
at the top of your portfolio.
usually at the top of your portfolio.
So why not put money into them? It's just a crazy concept to me when people are like, we're tapped out, and it's like, I get that, but like also it's the thing that you're probably going to be the most proud of.
1000%.
If you like this video and you want to see more videos, make sure you just tap that subscribe button. And thanks again, Danny, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, man.